Look, ASU football has a long lineage of great wide receivers that could continue this upcoming year, plus updates from spring practice, and we are seeing some all-time performances from a certain someone on the diamond for ASU baseball. We're going to talk about it all coming up right after this.
Happy Tuesday and welcome into the PHNX Sun Devils Show. I'm Anthony Totri, joined as always by my favorite passenger princess, Erik Ruby. Of course, we got the Wooly Woolbreck behind the Mac, making all of the magic happen. Hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, drop a 5-star review wherever you get your podcast. Emily, Sharon, Z-Man, several other Arizona State fans in the chat ready to talk about those Sun Devils because the Sun Devils were back on the field for another spring football practice. I can't believe we are already almost halfway done with spring football. We're going to be talking some new look wide receivers, specifically one that could be exactly what Erik said, potentially the next great Sun Devil wideout. And of course, at the tail end of today's show, we're going to dive into our baseball bag just a little bit because Landon Hairston is on.
He's in his bag.
I don't even know if it's a bag. He's in his suitcase at this point in time. What he's doing is absolutely ridiculous. But again, hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, drop a 5-star review wherever you get your podcast. Z-Man at chat. Did I hear the worm turn for Boley in the offense today? A question we will answer about halfway through today's show. Did the worm turn?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a saying.
No.
Yeah, look it up.
The worm turn?
Yeah. No, you've heard that, yeah?
Yes.
What?
I can't believe for once I know the saying and you don't. You want to read the description for
No, I'm good.
Well, there's others that don't know.
Oh, I just closed the tab.
Oh my goodness.
Okay,
You read it that quick and
well,
then
okay.
backed
Well,
out?
I just read like the first sentence of the AI summary because I realized that I didn't really care.
Yeah.
As I started to read it, and I was like, nah, I'm just gonna exit out of this. But for those who want to know, the worm is turned is an idiom signifying that a person previously weak, downtrodden, or submissive has finally resisted, fought back, or experienced a reversal of fortune. Originating from a 16th century proverb popularized by Shakespeare, nerd. It suggests that even the meekest will retaliate if pushed too far.
Did you just call Cutter Boley submissive?
No.
I think that's
Blame
what you
AI.
did. Blame AI?
Yeah, I didn't do. I just read.
Okay, man. I don't know. It sounded like that's what he said, right?
Yes.
Yeah. We're just throwing that out there, man.
Anyway, wide receivers.
Omarion Miller specifically, right? Because we've talked a lot about Reed Harris and some of the other wide receivers at Arizona State. And I kind of want to look past spring a little bit with this conversation with Omarion because I think Arizona State fans have been spoiled in the best way possible over probably the last decade when it comes to wide receivers. You could probably even look beyond that,
Yeah.
right? And I don't want to talk just like general like success in college and the NFL, like more so a superstar in college, right? Because that's what I think ASU fans have had at the wide receiver position, specifically at the X spot, for such a long period of time. You go back to Jalen Strong, you look at N'Keal Harry, you go to Brandon Ayuk, you look at Jordan Tyson, and they have all been such wild stars for the Sun Devil offense over the years, regardless of what the team has done. And you obviously don't have Jordan Tyson anymore. This is the first year in a couple that you are without him. Really, that wide receiver room from, 3-4 years ago is completely cleaned out. Yeah. You had JT in that room. You had Elijah Badger in that room. And this is completely a new room outside of Derek Eusebio, who I want to say was the only guy that was in that room at that point in time.
Yeah.
But now you have potentially a new superstar in Omarion Miller. And I want to know from your perspective, and there's a bunch of different ways that we can kind of categorize this. Do you feel like Omarion Miller can be the next great Arizona State wide receiver? Is it too early to make that judgment?
No. it's not too early. I think here's the thing with Omarion Miller. He's already showed that he's really, really, really good. This is not like a project, right? And like, I love JT, but like when JT transferred here, it was like, okay, we're going to bank on some potential.
Yeah.
Right.
Based off of his recovery.
Based off of recovery of the knee. You showed flashes at Colorado, but for an entire season, Omarion Miller was elite and one of the best wide receivers in the Big 12. Like, this is not
one of the worst offenses.
One of the worst offenses too. This is not somebody that ASU took a shot on.
Yeah.
Right. This is somebody that's about a sure thing is a sure thing. Right. And I know we kind of talk about him like, can he be one of the next great kids? Yes. I mean, the only thing that is stopping him from being that is being on the field.
Yeah.
That's it. If he's on the field, he's already proven that in a terrible offense that he could put up over 800 yards on 45 receptions.
Yeah. Which is ridiculous yards per catch.
Yeah. I mean, given like, especially who was throwing him the ball.
Yeah.
And how inconsistent that was and who was coaching that team. 18 yards per catch on 45 attempts. 808 yards, 8 touchdowns last year for Colorado, who didn't win a game in their last 5 weeks and went 1-7 in their last 8.
Not good.
Not good. Not good at all. He is somebody that has so much talent. I'm not breaking news here. He was one of the top receivers in the portal, right? That the only thing stopping him from being elite is not being on the field, and that was not a problem for him last year.
Yeah, I don't even know, and I'll take it a step further. I do think there is something else stopping him from being that next great guy, and has nothing to do with him at all. I think it has to do with the quarterback position at Arizona State, and more so to do with, can the offensive line keep whoever's playing quarterback upright?
Yeah.
Right? Because I think whoever's ultimately playing quarterback is going to have an easier job this season than maybe Sam did last year, because there are, in my mind, more reliable weapons in this offense going into 2026 than there was going into 2025, outside of Jordan Tyson, of course, right? And even Shaman as well. But like, you look around this Arizona State offense in 2026, you have Raiden Vines-Bright, you have Reed Harris, you have Omarion Miller, you have a plethora of running backs, you have AJ Ea at tight end, Anthony Miller, Christian Ingman, Kamari Anderson, and a bunch of guys that we can't even, or that we didn't even name. Like, there's an embarrassment of riches, really, like, across the board for this Arizona State offense. And I think when we're talking about Omarion Miller, like you said, he has proved time and again that he's very capable of being an elite number 1 wide receiver at this level in this conference.
He was the top 3 wide receiver in the conference.
In a bad offense.
Yeah.
Right. So I don't think that the offense in general is going to realistically impact what Omarion does, but I think the quarterback position and whoever's playing quarterback will ultimately decide what Omarion's ceiling can be here. But
I think ceiling, but floor is established.
Yes, the floor is certainly, again, like I think with the 2 wide receivers that you have that you are bona fide superstars in Reed and Omarion, you know what the ceiling, or at least what the floor is, right? Of what they're certainly capable of doing. And I think a lot of what they do in terms of growth, development, ceiling is going to be based upon the quarterback, how the plays are called, what plays are called. And I think that's kind of where I want to turn this argument now, or not argument, but I guess discussion, because I think part of what led Jordan Tyson to be like so successful last year is that there wasn't a ton of places that Sam wanted to go with the football outside of JT, right? And then you go back to the 2024 season and it was Scat and JT, right? Like, even then, there was realistically only 1, max 2 options in the passing game that the quarterback was thinking of going to, or that Arroyo was going to call plays for. Now it feels like there are more weapons, so I do feel like there's a conversation to be had about if the offense does look different, and even going back to what Kenny said prior to spring football of, hey, we believe that we need to do a better job of spreading out the offense. Like, there's 5 guys at one time that we want to be able to spread the ball out to and feel confident about it. Could that impact how we view Omarion as a great wide receiver at Arizona State?
I mean, it might affect the overall numbers, but I think with that, maybe his overall like receptions goes down, but maybe his yards per catch. I mean, he had 18 last year. He averaged over 20 the 2 seasons before that.
Which is
obviously on lower efficiency, right? Or not lower efficiency, but like lower volume.
Yeah.
So maybe it opens him up, but like at the end of the day, you can have all these weapons that you want. Like, wide receivers and quarterbacks usually have a certain bond. A quarterback usually picks a certain wide receiver, and maybe it is Reed Harris. I would bet on Omarion Miller, right? The guys with that level of talent are going to make the play.
Yeah.
What's going to happen is when you have these other options and you're spreading it out, like that's the counter to Omarion Miller, not Omarion Miller being the counter to them, right?
Yeah.
So when you have established like security at the number one position, yeah, then for sure you're going to be able to spread it out to a Vines Bright or a Eusebio or a Jaron Hamilton who had a good weekend, right? Like you have these options. My thing is at the end of the day, you go to Ohio State, right? And I know Arizona State is in Ohio State, but how many talented wide receivers do they have? How many options on offense do they have?
A ton.
Right? Guess what? Cream still rises to the top,
Yeah.
right? Like wide receiver one still ends up being wide receiver one. That's just the way that it goes. And talking with Ralph yesterday, I think it was interesting because did some mailbag questions with some people, and David Rodish asked, do you think the offensive line will be better this year than last year? And Ralph's response was, I think the quarterback play is going to be more conducive to good offensive line play, where, Sam Leavitt, in a benefit to him, had the ability to roll out and to make a play out of nothing. But the negative was that he relied on that so much and he never stayed in the pocket and delivered. And when you roll out and you make these off schedule, like genuinely fantastic,
for sure,
one-of-a-kind plays, but you rely on that so much, well, guess what you're going to do? You're not going to throw it to anybody else but Jordan Tyson because you're like, I'm in panic mode.
Yeah.
I'm going to throw it to the guy that I know is going to catch it.
Yeah.
I think even if Cutter Boley, and we know Cutter Boley will likely not be as good as Sam Leavitt. If Mikey King plays, he likely will not be as good as Sam Leavitt, right? Like nobody's going to be surprised by that. But their style of play will, I think, deliver a little bit more of a consistency for Omarion Miller.
Yeah.
Right? And hey, he did all this last year with, guess what? Mikey Keene or Cutter Boley plays on Colorado all of last year. He probably has better numbers. And I think obviously they've got a very, very
I think there's some folks that would push back.
I think they have a very, very talented young quarterback that
Yeah.
this year has a chance to be the best quarterback in the conference, but they didn't have consistency at that position.
No, then their OC, I mean, you want to talk about a bozo that was calling plays.
Yeah, they did have a bozo.
Yeah, so.
I mean, look, man, like their five-star freshman is very good.
Yeah.
Right? And I'm not saying that he wouldn't be the best quarterback on Arizona State. We wouldn't take him here, right? Because we would have. But last year specifically, you had a whole lot of shifting pieces. If there was just one quarterback there for the entire time, I think he has better stats.
And I think, again, when we're talking about Omarion and the ceiling, and I see some folks in the chat saying maybe it's someone younger, like a Raiden Vines Bright or a Reed Harris, as that next great, Arizona State wide receiver. I think you also have to figure in, yes, whoever's playing quarterback, that's a big thing. The archetype of the type of wide receiver that they are, right? Like N'Keal was the big body alpha guy. JT was more the volume technician guy. I think you had Brandon Ayuk as more a system type playmaker. I think for me, Omarion fits a lot more into the technician volume type guy, similar to JT. But JT had such a high volume of targets and catches, right? Like he's somebody that got better as the game kind of went on. Not that Omarion isn't that type of guy. I just don't know if the targets and the volume are going to be there in the same way that JT was getting them. And again, like ultimately all we care about is, and all they care about is Arizona State's success, right? The team wins. Like if Omarion gets 2 catches and Reed gets 3 catches and it's enough to win the football game, like at the end of the day, that's all that matters. And we'll sit up here for an hour post game and say that was a great win, but why did that happen? How did that happen?
Yeah.
Right. So like there's so much that goes into it. And I think a part of that is also when we talk about becoming the next great Arizona State wide receiver, this is more so like a bigger picture discussion than it is just Omarion has a good year and boom, he's the next great Arizona State wide receiver, right? Like,
I mean, there's a difference between having one of the great single seasons in school history and being one of the best wide receivers in school history, right? I think you need to play at least 2 years here to be considered one of the best in the school's history.
Even if they break every single
if he breaks every single record, then that's different.
Okay.
Right? But realistically, I don't think the amount of targets are going to be enough to break every single record. Right? It was the same thing with Jordan Tyson. I don't think the targets even weren't enough for him sometimes to break the records.
I think if he was healthy, then I think
I think there was a chance. He was on pace for a lot of
He would have shattered records.
But what you think about is that first year that Jordan Tyson played, a majority of the full season was Cam Scadaboo out there, is that Jordan Tyson's life was a lot easier.
Yeah,
right?
for sure.
And the numbers for Jordan Tyson were still insane.
Yeah.
Even though Cam Scadaboo was pretty much that entire
I missed that
offense.
2014.
Yeah, it was great. They were great.
I just that it was such a
It was a moment. It was a moment.
It was a moment that lasted 365 beautiful days.
But even though Scat was pretty much the offense, it opened up so much for JT that he was able to take advantage of.
Yeah.
Right? I think we got so used to last year this idea of Levitt and Tyson and then everybody else figure it out that we've almost been like pushed ourselves into the corner like mentally of like that was the best recipe.
Nobody
for
puts
success.
baby in a corner, Eric.
Nope, nobody puts baby in the corner. And I want that out there. Nobody turns the worm in the corner, okay? But the thing is, if Jordan Tyson had either A, a quarterback who was more willing to spread the love, or B, an offense that was more capable of kind of taking some pressure off of him, whether it was from the running back position, which I know Ralik really picked up steam as the time went on, but Ralik, I don't feel like was ever consistent enough on a play-to-play basis to always take.
I think that was more the offensive line,
and that could be true too,
and potentially the play calling too.
I think it's everything, right? But this offense overall, I think we're kind of imagining, oh well, having a more balanced offense, Kenny being more involved in the offense, so probably some sharper play calls. I think some improved offensive line play based off of consistency, based off of retention and development. All of these things together, we're kind of saying them as like, oh, well, maybe that takes away from Omarion Miller. There is just as big of a chance that it literally just elevates.
Yeah.
Right? I know that we want to talk about how this offense has a million different weapons. We might be sitting here 4 weeks into the season and been like, okay, well, guess what? You're going to throw Omarion Miller the ball every single time because it's working. It was the same thing with the running backs last year. We went in last year and thought, wow, 3 running backs.
Yeah, run the ball.
Like run the ball, but you've got 3 different types of running backs and they're all going to be involved so much. And at the end of the day, you're like 6 weeks in and you're like, okay, well, if you're not getting the ball to Ralik Brown, that's a stupid idea.
Yeah.
Right? Like, Kanye Udo a little bit if he can. Okay, if Kyson Brown's healthy, give it to him. But like, you give the ball to Ralik Brown if you're going to be running it.
For sure.
So I kind of have a feeling that we're going to spend this whole offseason talking about all these other weapons, and they are going to come up big. Big plays from Eusebio. I see that from Vinesbright. I see that. Obviously, Reed Harris is kind of a different setting and conversation in his own right.
I think we could have the same conversation about Reed Harris.
I agree.
The next
I would put my money on Omarion over Reed personally.
How much?
I'm not. I don't
know. I'm just saying.
I don't have a lot to put.
It's just more so like it's a confidence thing. I'm not saying you actually have to put money on it.
If I had to like say like percentage wise, if I had to kind of give like the odds to who would most likely be wide receiver 1 and have a record setting season.
Okay, there you go. That's the bar.
Wide receiver 1 and record setting season.
Okay.
I would say like if it's gonna happen for one of them, let's say it's guaranteed to happen, I'd say 70% Omarion, 30%.
Really?
I would.
So you would say that he would be minus money at that point if he's 70% favorite.
I believe Reed Harris. I think Reed Harris is incredibly talented, and I think if Omarion Miller wasn't here, then it would be like, oh yeah, well
yeah.
Right, and again, this is not to take away from Reed. I just think that the type of wide receiver that Omarion Miller is, I think lends itself a little bit more to being that type of receiver, whereas Reed, I could see being like this, like no drops, insane catch percentage, like awesome efficiency, like super reliable.
Yeah, Reed is
safety blanket.
Yeah, well, yeah. Reed in my mind is like N'Keal Harry got faster and ate a Mario mushroom.
Yeah,
like that's.
But like with Omarion, it's like I'm gonna throw like a 5-yard out to you. You might take it 82 yards.
Yeah, that's
right.
Fair.
And I mean, like maybe Reed can do that. Like I'm sure he's like athletic enough to do that. But if I had to put my money on somebody being able to make more,
we're gonna get Reed in the studio. We're gonna clip this. So
that's fine. But that's the thing. Look, that's fine because I think Reed Harris is an incredible wide receiver. We spent a lot of time talking about Reed Harris and how good he's going to be. I just think that their styles of play and how they'll probably be used next to each other leads towards Omarion Miller being able to fill that role, even though they are both talented enough to do it.
Yeah,
if that makes sense.
No, it does, and I think that's totally fair. Chat's on fire. Chat's got some great questions, some great comments that I want to make sure we get to, but we're gonna do that on the other side of our first break. Let's be real. Gas prices right now are through the roof. They're absolutely crazy. But thanks to our friends over at Circle K, they're going the extra mile to help you save money every single time you pull up to a Circle K location. You just have to be enrolled in Inner Circle. It's Circle K's free membership program that costs nothing to enroll, and it'll take maybe 25, 30 seconds. Go to the App Store, download the app, enter your email and phone number. And do you know where you go from there, Rubus?
To Circle K.
Exactly. Straight to Circle K, because that's all you have to do to sign up to be a part of Inner Circle. Once you're a member, once you pull up to that pump, type in that same phone number that you use to enroll, and you guys are going to see those deals and savings start to roll in. Save 25 cents off per gallon on your first 5 fill-ups, and the deals, they don't stop there. Sometimes you guys can save 3 cents, 5 cents, or on these beautiful things called Inner Circle Fuel Days, you guys can save around 40 cents off per gallon on gas. The deal's not just on gas, but on snacks and drinks as well. But just make sure you join Inner Circle for free by downloading the Circle K app today. Terms and conditions apply at participating locations. Visit CircleK.com for details.
Hey, Totri.
Hey, Eric.
You're looking mighty handsome today.
Thanks.
Anything you want to say about?
I mean,
me?
you look almost just as handsome.
Oh, stop it. Well, of course, it has nothing to do with anything but our hats that we're wearing. And we're wearing branded Bills hats because these hats, well, they make you stand apart from the crowd. The only problem is everybody in the crowd is starting to wear branded Bills hats because whether you need snapbacks, truckers, fitted beanies, or tees, Brand Bills has you covered with performance and style. And specifically for Arizona State University, the best university on planet Earth, they have so many different types of hats. Every time you go to any ASU sporting event, if you look to your left, you look to your right, you're going to see a branded
Bills. Look to the sky.
Hat.
You might see a couple of birds with branded
Bills. I mean, branded Bills hats everywhere. They're well made. And of course, you can get custom branded Bills hats as well, like we have at PHNX. And of course, you can get it for your small business, fantasy football league, big business, or just anything that you want to have a hat for. Plus, they're a local company out of Mesa, Arizona. So head to brandedbills.com, use code BBPHNX for 15% off your first order. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, join our Discord today. That's where I took a lot of our questions, aka the David Rodish mailbag that happened yesterday. He put like 45 questions. I, of course, took other diehard questions and Twitter questions as well, but you want to be a diehard for a lot of different reasons. And right now we have a current intro offer, which is $36 for your first year. So make sure you go and check that out at gophnx.com/intro. Of course, we have team specific channels, not just ASU, but all the other shows here as well. You can interact with us. Of course, we have monthly live Q&As, and you get a lot of inside information as well when it comes to Arizona State athletics. So make sure you go join our diehard Discord, become a part of our ASU family. Lots of talk about ASU athletics when they're going on, from ASU baseball to gymnastics to hockey to, of course, when football and basketball season rolls back around. Game days are always super
I'm ready,
fun.
Man. I'm so ready for the season to just start.
It's the best community out there. So definitely go check out our Die Hard Discord.
Hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, drop a 5-star review wherever you get your podcast. One of the comments that I wanted to get to in the chat, I want to say was from Z-Man. That was right here from Raymond. Game on the line. N'Keal Harry and Jordan Tyson both on the field. Who are you throwing to?
Jordan Tyson.
And it's not close.
It's
not close. It's not close.
N'Keal was really good. I think the benefit of N'Keal is the height that he brings. Like if you're in a goal line situation, being able to find him. I would go Jordan Tyson, and I would say I would comfortably go Jordan Tyson, but I would not say it's not even close. I think that is discounting just how good
N'Keal was awesome
and reliable.
He was awesome
and reliable.
He wasn't Jordan Tyson.
No,
he was great.
But okay,
wasn't Jordan Tyson.
I think there's a difference between so game on the line. Who do you throw to versus
who's throwing him the ball?
Well, okay, you,
me,
yeah.
Then maybe N'Keal.
So I think. And again, my answer is the same for both of these, but I think there is a little bit of a difference between like game on the line and like the most important game. Who do you want the entire game? I think when it comes down to a final possession, if you're in the red zone,
play,
like the final play, I think that's closer. I think it is Jordan Tyson, but I think N'Keal Harry is a lot closer versus if I need a game, if I need a wide receiver for an entire game and I need to win, I'm going with Jordan Tyson by a wider margin.
So you're still going JT no
I'm still going
what.
JT, but I don't think I'm as far away from picking N'Keal Harry as you are.
I'm pretty far away.
That's fair. Far away.
I think he was awesome. I think he was a very talented wide receiver.
I think the for one play, the height, the ability to high point a ball, which like JT could do, but like he's not built like N'Keal. I think that just gives him a little bit more in that specific situation.
I think it's fair. I just think JT, better hands, better speed, better route running, better separation, better release.
He's a better receiver.
Yeah, he's a better
He's a better player. Yeah. Which again, that's no disrespect. I think Jordan Tyson is one of the most talented players to ever play at ASU. You dodged a question though.
I dodged a question.
So you asked me to put like a percentage on it and odds on Omarion versus Rudy.
You never gave me odds though.
No, I guess I put like a percentage, like 70-30 is the percentage. So give me a percentage for you.
55-45. I think it's gonna be. I think Omarion, but yeah, Reed's closer.
I mean, Reed's. I wouldn't be surprised.
Like if it was betting odds, I would say I don't think either one of them would be
like plus money.
I don't think either one of them would be
like minus 115 to minus 140.
I think it would be probably plus 115 for Omarion and plus 145 for Reed.
Yeah.
Like, I think Reed is going to be that good. Now, again, I don't think that takes away from the idea and the conversation that Omarion Miller can be the next great Arizona State wide receiver. I think there are other outside factors that have nothing to do with Omarion Miller that are ultimately going to answer that question for us at the end of 2026 of like, hey, when we, you know, put this entire season in a vacuum, why was Omarion this good? Why did he hit a ceiling? Why did he maybe not get there? And it all has to do with the offense as a whole around him, right? But you're right in the sense that he's certainly capable of doing those things, and I want to double down on the fact that I think Reed Harris is certainly capable of doing those things as well, and it's a high bar, right? To meet the standards of what Jordan Tyson just did, to meet the standards of what Brandon Ayuk did when he was here, regardless of the Looney Tunes run that he's on in the NFL. And some of those other great Arizona State wide receivers, of course, the N'Keal Harrys, the Jalen Strongs, and the list kind of goes on and on and on. But there is still so much to get into. And before we dive into ASU football today, let's talk about the future of ASU football, because a couple things have gone on over the last 24 hours as it relates to that class of 2027. Yesterday, Arizona State landed 3-star tight end Caleb Camping.
What a great tight end
who
name.
committed to ASU over Kansas,
awesome.
over Kansas State, Cal, and a couple others. He's a top 10 player in the state of Colorado. The first time that I think Kenny Dillingham and company have actually landed a recruit from Colorado since being in Tempe, which is nice. We know they've
take them from CU.
We do. We take them from CU and just the overall
and now we're
state.
taking it from the state.
Exactly. And then literally since we've been live, ASU landed a local commit from Basha. It's not Noah Roberts.
No,
it's not Hildebrand. It's Mikey Barth.
Yeah, let's go, Mikey.
Class of 2027 kicker. Whose father actually kicked at ASU back in the day. So the Sun Devils landing 2 recruits for that class 2027 here in the last 24 hours. Where do you want to start here?
I mean, Barth is the number 2 ranked overall kicker in the class by Cole's Kicking. If you want to, I'm going to be honest with you, I'm not super familiar.
Cole's like the store?
With Cole's Professional Camp. But I mean, very big time kicker. Special teams, it's so funny because we were talking about that during a break, and Noah's first reaction was, yeah, you guys need it. So
Noah doesn't know. He doesn't know nothing.
But it's nice always to kind of get the special teams and a local kid as well. And hey, it doesn't hurt to add somebody from Basha.
Yeah, for sure.
I think
the more players you can add from Basha, the better.
I think that is I think that's a good addition. But Caleb Camping as well. I mean, I think it was it Mons that tweeted hashtag Tempe, but the TE at the beginning of Tempe was capitalized for tight end. This is, of course, hopefully a continuation of the line of top end tight ends. I mean, this guy, he's already 6'5", 220. In class of 2027.
And he's still got another year of high school football.
He's 6'5", 220. Right? And so 3-star, maybe you're not going to freak out about 3-star, but like you mentioned, top 10 player in Colorado, a top 60 tight end nationally.
Yeah.
Which is pretty good. So excited about both of them. Excited, man.
But you're more excited for the tight end.
I think I like the local.
I'm just trapping you here.
I like the
2027, man. It's all good.
I like the local flavor.
That's fair. And again, a local flavor from a school that you're trying to dive into to get 2 of the other players that I think again are top guys. I think it has for me less to do with the fact that this kid plays at Basha, but more so the fact that his dad was a Sun Devil.
Yeah,
right.
And he's a very good kicker, too.
Yeah, that obviously plays into it. But anytime you can get a legacy to come home, especially after one just committed to USC, right?
We don't need to talk about that.
It's big.
We do not need to talk about that.
It's big stuff. It's good. I love it. And as it relates to Caleb Camping, again, that is a phenomenal name. We actually talked to Jason Mons earlier today, post-practice, and just this guy, watching his development as a coach and as a recruiter has been so awesome to see. I mean, these tight ends, I don't think get enough love for what they do, and it's because they don't catch a ton of passes, right? They're not guys that are like the tight ends that you see at Georgia or that you see, at Bama that go for 50, 60, 70 receptions, 1,000 yards, and 12 touchdowns. But that's just not how Arizona State utilizes their tight ends, right? Shaman is somebody that was a superior blocker. Kamari is somebody that I think is going to have the potential to do a lot of fun stuff this year. You look at AJ Ia, you know what he's potentially capable of doing. And then you bring in other guys, Hayden Virtue, who's going to get here in the fall. You got Landon Myrie, who's here. Like, they're asked to do so many different things. And I think, again, the thing that's not talked about enough when it comes to this, getting ahead of like recruiting. Again, we're in March of 2026 and you just got your class of 2027 tight end. And Mon said it today is like, now this kind of locks Arizona State up at that spot for that class 2027. So now he can start building those relationships and looking for the class 2028 guys.
Yeah.
Right. So they get such a big jump when they really hit some of these home runs with some of these positions. And they can just immediately dive into the next class. And Jason Mons, man, he's done a phenomenal job getting these guys in the building and developing them. And it's been awesome to see. And I think that was present today watching Arizona State practice this morning. Again, about halfway done with spring football. And the offense definitely had its best day.
Oh, I got some questions for you.
You got some questions?
About spring football. Don't you worry about it. But I got questions on the other side of our second break.
We have partners here at PHNX that try and help you save money every single day. Heck, we got partners here at PHNX that give you a chance to win money. But I want to tell you about where you could put those savings and your winnings. And that is, of course, in Mountain America Credit Union's My Style checking account. You guys, of course, need a checking account and you want one that's got those built-in perks and benefits just for you. And that's exactly what you're going to get with that My Style checking account. You guys can enjoy restaurant deals, mobile phone protection, telehealth access, identity protection, loan rate discounts, and my personal favorite, offers on travel events. I mean, come on, who doesn't love offers on travel and events? And all of those perks are neatly wrapped up in one place. Again, that My Style checking account. Make My Style your lifestyle over at Mountain America Credit Union. And if you're stingy and you want your credit union to support your university, well, you're in luck, because home to Kenny Dillingham's Arizona State Sun Devils, none other than Mountain America Stadium. Make sure you visit macu.com/mystyle to apply. Insured by NCUA. Membership required. Based on eligibility, some benefits required. No cost registration/activation. Terms, conditions, and exclusions apply.
Look, maybe you can't afford to go travel and go to events, so why not go on a little vacation of the mind with our friends over at Pure Edibles? Of course, all three founders, ASU alumni, and leave it to them to make the most innovative edible in the game. Gone are the days of sativa, indica, hybrid labels. Well, of course, they use that CBN, CBG, CBD, and marijuana-derived THC to deliver you a fantastic experience. They tell you exactly how it's going to make you feel on the tin. You want to be uplifted? Guess what? You're going to be uplifted. You want to be sleepy?
They got that too.
They got that too. And you're going to know how you feel. Plus, Pure Gummies are designed to be ripped or bit in half, making them easily shareable or easy to dial in your exact dose, so that if you're new to edibles, or let's just say you're a lightweight, which is fine. Honestly, it's best for your money as well to be a lightweight. You can, of course, rip these gummies in half. You can dial in your exact dose, and that you can have the best experience possible with our friends over at Pure Edibles. They taste seriously delicious, and they will make you feel seriously delicious as well. Go find yourself some Pure Edibles products from one of the over 130 dispensaries across Arizona.
Quarterbacks got the ball out of their hands. Good protection. We ran the ball well up front. I think the O-line had their best day. When you can run the ball, life gets simple. And today we ran the ball directly down the middle of the defense, which isn't good for defense, right? We got to be able to stop interior runs on the defense side of the ball. And if you don't, then you're in trouble. Right? It's a simple game. I've said it a ton. Block people, right? Defeat blocks. Move the other man backwards. Right? And if you do that, you're probably going to be pretty good. Today, the offense moved them backwards on defense. But then the defense moved them backwards with 2 takeaways, one of those being a pick 6. So that can't happen.
You know, it's really spring when Kenny Dillingham has lost his voice. It's like Groundhog Day.
Yeah. It's at this time when he usually is like completely hoarse in the
He's going to be like Doc Rivers.
When he's older? Yeah, just can't speak whatsoever. Well, he runs over straight from that end of practice huddle and goes straight into media availability. So like he wastes no time.
Have some water, my guy.
Not even a little. Like he doesn't take
just
a second.
Gatorade.
Yeah, I mean, he's trying to be efficient, man. He's trying to get this done immediately.
Speaking of,
chat with us for a couple minutes, bounce.
Of being efficient and getting things done, it definitely feels like the prevailing theme from today's practice was the efficiency and the standout from the quarterback, specifically Cutter Boley. I know we spent some time
Yeah.
last week talking about maybe how Cutter had not shown some of the signs that you'd want him to so far very early in spring ball. Would you say that it is accurate to say today you saw some of those signs?
Yeah, I think last Thursday it was unfortunate. We talked so much about quarterbacks, right? That was kind of the group that I was really honed in on that day, and it was probably his worst day. And then I would argue today he probably had his best day.
That's good.
Which is great. Second day and
Better
full
stop
pads.
talking about it.
I know it was great to see him kind of more on time, more in rhythm, and it wasn't just a him thing. It was really just the offense in general looked like it had really started to find a little bit of a rhythm, and that's not new. Right, this is something that we often talk about when it comes to spring football, where it's like that first week defense dominates. Right, there's so much that goes into being a cohesive and a good offense so early on in this day and age of college football with transfers and freshmen, etc. And then you get into the second week, and then you get to see a little bit more of like the offense has its bearings, and that's exactly what it was today. The offense looked crisp, it looked clean. The offensive line looked good today. Kenny had mentioned it in that clip right there. He believes that they had their best day of practice to this point in time, which is great. Again, this early on, still got so much left of spring football. The wide receivers continue to make plays. The running backs, I'm still super excited to see, how that competition kind of really gets into fall camp, where some of those guys start to go.
Have we seen Omarion and Reed
on the field together?
Yes,
we have seen them together. It's as scary as you think it is.
I'm frightened in a good way.
It was actually, I think there was maybe one or two sets in team period today. They ran team for a big chunk of practice today, which they don't normally. They go maybe 20 minutes. Today it was easily probably 35-40 minutes of just team at the end of practice. But it was actually Jake Fetty at quarterback.
Oh wow, really?
When you had both of them on the field toward the end of practice, so that was fun to see. Fetty looked good today. Cam Dyer looked good today. So it was a lot of good for the Arizona State offense, and like Kenny said, a lot of good for the Arizona State defense too. At points in time, Ashton Stamps, he jumped a pass from Mikey Keene, and Cribb called it, took it straight back to the house. You had another interception.
A pro Stamps or a
little bit of both.
Not great from Mikey.
A little bit of both. You shouldn't make that throw. You shouldn't throw. I believe he was throwing a quick little hitch, and Stamps read it the entire way, and I mean he took it back easily. So that's just learn your lesson. Don't make that throw again. There were a couple other passes that were intercepted throughout practice today. Again, more so from Mikey Keene than I think any of the other quarterbacks. So unfortunately for Mikey, it was probably one of his down days today, while the offense as a whole had a much better day. So there are pros and cons to this point in spring football, but again, like, it's starting to come together for the offense, and playmakers are starting to show up on the defense.
Do you notice anything with Cutter specifically? Is he favoring certain types of throws, players? Does he feel more comfortable doing anything specifically?
I don't know if he's favoring a ton. I think the two players that I've seen him throw the most to have been Reed and Raiden. He hasn't been on the field a ton with Omarion,
which is interesting.
It's again kind of the way that they've ran their groups, right? Like Mikey has been mainly with Omarion. That's why you get back to last Thursday's practice and you have that massive touchdown, right, from Mikey to Omarion. But again, they're just kind of working them in the way that they see fit in those groups, their white, maroon, and gold groups. But that's definitely been where Cutter has been looking to go with the football, especially when he needs to kind of roll out a little bit or scramble away. He has been taking shots to Reed, but he's also been somebody that hasn't been afraid to just check it down. If the play blows up, he doesn't see anything, he'll check it down, which is things that he wasn't doing a ton at Kentucky, right? Where you had those conversations about the turnovers or him just maybe having too much confidence in his arm. Sometimes it's okay to take what the defense gives you, and if that's a 3-yard, in the flat, then take it. And again, some of those things you test out a little bit more in practice than you would a game. Right, you probably want to take some more of those risks and shots in practice versus on Saturdays. But overall, I thought Cutter had a solid day. I think maybe my favorite play of the day was actually a Fetty play. It was a touchdown. They were running red zone toward the very end of practice, and I want to say it was Raiden. It could have been AJ as well. But there was Fetty had pressure in his face. and he contorted his arm as one of those like sidearm type of throws. Like instead of throwing it, Mahomes-esque, instead of throwing it over in a way that would probably get deflected by a D lineman, he actually contorted his arm, kind of sidearmed it, and found the wide receiver or tight end in stride, and it was a touchdown. So saw that today. I was like, okay, Jake, I see you making some plays early on in spring football. Like pads came on and the kid's starting to play college football. You like see it.
And I think what we kind of underrate and what you said about keeping it simple about the quarterback situation is that they honestly don't need to do a lot this year. Like, I mean, obviously, like, you're a quarterback, you got to do a lot, right? You have to make good plays, smart plays, but we don't need
your job should be easier this year.
We don't need a superhero at quarterback.
No, because you have superheroes everywhere
like
else.
The term game manager, I think sometimes gets thrown out as like a negative.
Yeah.
Right? I would say this year ASU needs a plus game manager at quarterback at worst, just to be a very good team. Obviously, if you could have great quarterback play on top of what you already have, then, I mean, we're having a very different conversation.
Sure.
And I think that's possible, right? But the standard for what you need from quarterback, honestly, lower than I think what you needed last year.
Yeah.
So that should be fun. Z-Man brings it up in the chat. I know you tweeted about Julian Hugo.
Yeah.
Has he been the true freshman that stood out the most for you?
Ooh, I don't know the most. I have the roster handy on me. I want to see. I just want to make sure I'm getting this 100% correctly on his size here, because this kid as a true freshman in college, right? This is, again, he's spring football here. Julian Hugo is 6'4", 250 pounds as a true freshman edge rusher. He looks nothing like any true freshman edge rusher.
He was also 250 pounds as a true freshman. I was not 6'4".
Yeah. I was not 6'4" or 250 pounds. But he doesn't look like any edge rusher I've seen at Arizona State this young. And they've had some good ones, right? Like even Clayton, when he came here, was a younger player when he transferred to ASU. Dorba as well. He's somebody that has, the things that you can't teach, which is that body, that size. I told somebody out there today, I'm really excited to see what Julian Hugo looks like in the fall, right? Because you get your first full summer workout program with Coach Joe. Like, I would expect him to be 6'4", maybe 6'5", because again, he's 18, maybe he grows a little bit.
Joe's got him hanging.
Yeah, imagine him being like 6'5", 260 as a true freshman, what he could do. I think this is somebody that could certainly squeak into, the rotation when it comes to the edge rusher, especially because you moved Clayton out to the outside. And I know we had a super chat from Bees that we'll get to a little bit later on. But yeah, I would say out of the freshmen that have stood out the most, it's been him. And then Zethus and Daquan Dunn. All the true freshmen that have stood out the most have been on the defensive side.
A little bit of Fetty today.
A little bit of Fetty today, but even I think the three that I mentioned have stepped up. Like they've popped. They've popped every single day. Which again, I think the reason people weren't talking about Julian Hugo, maybe last week is because, again, pads weren't on. Right, you weren't in full pads, you weren't doing full contact, that type of stuff. You put pads on, and I don't think it's a coincidence that Kenny Dillingham says, "Oh, Julian Hugo looks like the dude," right, on Saturday when he's got pads on. So I would say those have been like the three freshmen for me that have really, really just like stood out. But you've got playmakers everywhere. It's really, really interesting to see all of these guys start to come together. And again, it's still so early on. Like, I don't know if we're going to see these true freshmen that have popped play because you have guys that have already, like an Omarion Winston off the edge, Jalen Thompson off the edge. Kirtland Vakalahi is gigantic, right? Like, there's so many pieces to this group on defense. And I will say, kind of piggybacking off what Dilly said in that initial clip after that break was, they were able to run up the gut today. And that was pretty clear. That's what happens when you don't have CJ Fight out there. When you don't have CJ Fight in the interior defense, the real rotation at the tackle so far. Today, I want to say with the starting defense, the number one defense, I want to say it was Hiram, the JUCO transfer, and Deshaun Morgan, were your two interior tackles. Again, I would expect one of those guys to not be there when CJ Fight is fully back. So I'm interested to see who they ultimately end up going with as the other D tackle. I like Deshaun Morgan. I think he's somebody that has got that kind of same size as a CJ Fight, somebody that does have a little bit of a pass rush to him as a young interior defensive lineman. And then maybe a rotation of Jeffrey Manns and Hiram and some of those other guys in the interior of the defense.
Last question about true freshmen before we hit a break here, and then we'll read your super chat after the break. Bees, Carday? Question mark.
He's looked good. Again, the other three, I think it's just testament to some of the other freshmen that they have in terms of like they show up every single day, and they have. Carday looks good. This is somebody that, again, I don't know how much he's going to see the field as a true freshman, just based off of what you already have in the running back room. We still haven't really seen Marquise Gillis in team period. So that's something to keep an eye on, really, as the rest of spring football kind of goes along. David Avit's been out there. Kyson Brown's been out there. Carday did get more run today because still no Gillis and David Avit's dealing with something. So there was a little bit more opportunity for him today. You've got Man. Grayson Rigdon looked good today as well. So there's just so much competition all over the field. Like I know it's something that we've said year over year of like, there's competition here, there's competition here. Realistically, because this is the most athletic team that Kenny Dillingham's had, I think this is the most competition that we've seen so far in spring.
It's exciting.
It is.
We'll get to another super chat, wrap up spring ball, and then talk a little historic.
Little baseball.
ASU baseball on the other side of this. I keep on saying it over and over and over again.
And over and over
again, but it's hot. I mean,
Yeah.
today it really wasn't that hot. It was raining today, which was nice. I'm sure that you experienced that.
I
But
did.
guess what? Tomorrow it's probably going to be
Yeah,
215 degrees. And
Wow.
if you want to save money with your energy spending, APS is here to help you with a couple of different options. Let's talk about the rate plan option, where you can look back at your past couple of months of spending, analyze a pattern, and then they will tell you what you would have paid depending on which rate plan you are on. So if you're on the best one, it'll tell you, hey, you're saving the most amount of money.
Nice.
But if you're not, you can see it, pick that plan going forward, and save the right amount of money for your energy usage every single month. Or we could talk about budget billing options. Budget billing averages out your payment over the year, so you pay around the same amount every single month. So if you want to save, if you want to build towards buying a car, taking a vacation, putting a down payment on a home, or even just some small things in life, and you want your finances to be more controllable, APS has an option for that, where you can pay around the same every single month. So find all your options to manage your bill at aps.com/let's talk. That's managing your bill at aps.com/let's talk.
Erik, what are some of your favorite things in life?
I mean, vacation, relaxation, celebration.
and celebration. Well,
Did I nail it?
you did. You did. You went 3 for 3, and so did our friends over at Arizona Lottery, because they are trying to help you multiply all of the great things in your life with those multiplier scratchers. With multiplier scratchers from the Arizona Lottery, guess what, Erik? You can multiply the good things. Damn, you can multiply the great things in life: vacation, relaxation, and celebration. Because with over $270 million in prizes, that's right, you heard it correctly.
That's a lot of money.
Over $270 million in prizes. You could win big enough to do more of the things you love. Multiplier tickets start at just $1 and have prizes up to $5 million. Arizona Lottery, hey, do me a favor. Let me hold a couple bucks, please.
Well, they will. They just take a scratcher.
Exactly. Just take a scratcher. Go to your nearby Circle K location. Pick up some of those Arizona Lottery scratchers, because with access to over 3,500 retailers across the state, you can play whenever and wherever you'd like.
Thank you, everybody, for hanging out with us on a Tuesday afternoon. We got a super chat from Bees.
That was special the way you did that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
$2 super chat from Bees says Clayton Smith will be Kelvin Benjamin 2.0. Book it.
Okay.
Give me my daily Clayton Smith update.
Yeah. Nobody wants Clayton Smith to succeed more than me. Nobody does. Not even Clayton. I don't think Clayton wants Clayton to succeed as much as I wanted to. Clayton Smith is awesome, man. He is an athletic freak. There's a reason that Feldman had him on his freak list going into last year. I think
freak list is just crazy. Like, come
it
on,
is.
man.
It is. I mean, he's crazy. Like Clayton Smith, what he
What
does.
about Bruce Feldman?
Well, Feldman's not a freak, but you know,
We should do a media freak list.
I think you have to be a freak. Is Feldman's freak list fraudulent because he's not a freak?
I think we need to do a
Like, can only freaks?
it takes
Like,
a
do you
freak
gotta
to know a freak.
That's what I'm saying.
I think we need to do a media freak list, and Phil Steele's number one.
Why is Phil Steele? I can't speak today. Why is he a freak?
I mean, Speaks for himself.
Yeah. Okay.
Nobody does it like Phil.
Yeah, Clayton Smith is, I think that he is a very talented football player. He's very athletic. I'm very curious when we ultimately get to talk to Clayton why the decision was made to move. That's my big thing. And this is not a knock on Clayton. It's more so like he's such a good edge rusher.
Yeah.
So like in my mind, it's like, why move him to wide receiver? And also, you have Reed Harris.
And Omarion Miller.
And like but I'm just talking for size. If we're talking for just like a big body guy, Uriah, some of the other players out there, where find me a situation where you're going to be out there and you're going to put Clayton Smith at wide receiver and he's going to do something that you wouldn't just have Reed Harris do.
I don't even know why it's been wide receiver. I feel like if he's going to play offense, fullback or tight end. Like goal line package blocking.
ASU asked their tight ends to do a lot.
I'm at the point where it's like, I'm sure he asked for this. I'm sure he wants this, but like, I'm sure that Clayton Smith
I just want to know why.
I'm sure Clayton Smith wants to play NFL football. And if I'm going to be honest with you, like he has a much better chance of playing in the NFL on the defensive side of the ball.
I think he'll do both. Like I think this year he's gonna probably play more edge rusher than wide receiver. I asked Brad Denny out there today. I'm like, over under on Clayton Smith snaps at wide receiver.
We talked about it yesterday.
What did Ralph say to that?
David Rodish in his mini questions asked over under 50.
Significantly.
Ralph and I both went significantly under.
Yeah, 50. Brad Denny said today 12.5. And I said under there as well.
Yeah, I mean, it's less than one a game.
Yeah. Now, Morgan State and Hawaii are on the
He's
schedule.
getting 12 each game.
So you never know. I don't know. I think it's a fascinating thing to continue to watch.
It's a little strange, but
it's
you know
not.
what?
No, it's not just a little strange. It's a lot of strange.
Yeah, it's
because this guy was one of your team sack leaders like 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And now you're lining him up to be wide receiver
12,
6, 7, 8, like literally.
Well,
I don't get it.
The thing is, like, this team doesn't need wide receivers, right? We talked about it. They lost Jordan Tyson for sure. They replaced him with 2 top-end wide receivers. Plus, they brought in a young guy in Rain Vinesbury. Plus, they retained literally everybody else in the room.
They've all gotten better.
Jaron Hamilton, Jalen Moss, Derek Eusebio, like Uriah alone. Like the room is fine.
Yeah.
Right. And so I mean, I guess we'll see.
Like I said, I'm rooting for Clayton.
Yeah, we'll see. I would love nothing more than Clayton Smith to be like an 800-yard wide receiver.
Hell yeah.
That'd be
Let's do
awesome.
it. Best wide receiver in the country, Clayton Smith.
That would be awesome. I do not think that is going to happen.
So are you willing to put something on the line
if it does happen
for Clayton Smith?
800 yards?
800 yards for Clayton Smith. Let's be realistic. 500 yards. 500 yards in 30 catches. He's got to meet both of those. What do we do?
What are you willing to put on the line?
This is a team thing, brother.
That's why I asked my teammate.
What do you want to do? Should we go camping? Let's go camping in Tempe overnight. Yeah? Okay. I'm down for it. That would be something. That would be content.
That'd be fun. They should let us camp at Mountain America.
We'll see what we can get
Real
done.
Grass out there.
Yeah, we'll see what we can get done. That'd be a lot of fun. That'd be a lot of fun. Maybe a little scary, though, too. We'll see.
Camping in Mountain America?
Well, you never know.
I don't know if it'd be scary.
It's really close to DFA. And, like DFA is scary. It's got good bones.
I feel like it'd be really cool.
I'm sure it would be. Just you being in a stadium.
They wouldn't want us on the grass. They would be like, you can't camp on the grass.
I mean, we'll see. We'll see what happens.
No, they wouldn't let us camp.
Clayton Smith, 30 catches,
500 yards.
And we're going camping.
I'm
here for it. Hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, drop a 5-star review, and go check out ASU baseball. Woo! Because Landon Hairston is, a home run machine.
I mean, he is on track of having one of the greatest individual seasons in school history, and there has been a lot of very great individual seasons.
There's still 30-something games left in the year. This guy's got 17 home runs this season, which is just 10 shy of ASU's single season record. He's got 7 home runs in the last 5 games. He's got 4 grand slams, which I want to say is 1 away from the single season record. He can't be stopped, Erik.
No, and Joe Healy passed this along according to stats from D1 Baseball. Landon Hairston currently leads the nation in slugging percentage at 1.027, OPS at 1.578, ties for first in hits at 53 and runs at 44, ranks second in home runs at 17 and ties for second in RBI with 48. Also has only struck out 12 times in 136 plate appearances. Also a win for ASU baseball last night. I know, unfortunately, we talked a little bit about this with Ralph. Or no, Ralph was gone yesterday. We talked a little bit about this at the end of yesterday. Don't love dropping 2 in a row to West Virginia there. It's unfortunate, but bounce back, 6-2 win. And Landon Hairston, man, when you have a player like that, every single time that you watch the game, it's just, it's not, is he going to hit a home run? It's not, is he going to make a big play?
It's when.
It's when.
Yeah.
And that is such an exciting thing for any sport, but specifically for baseball, because like there's this anticipation.
Well, there's a history behind ASU, right? When it comes to that.
To be, 10 away from the all-time record?
And there's like 30-something games left.
Yeah, I mean, guys, Barry Bonds played here.
Hell, Spencer Torkelson was going
Spencer Torkelson,
like bomb for bomb every night at ASU baseball. And now you're telling me that this kid, Landon Hairston's doing the same thing? Right? In 4 grand slams? I said that. Noah even looked up from the computer screen there. He was like, wait, what?
Yeah.
Like, this guy is dominating college baseball, and he's doing it in Tempe. If you're not checking out ASU baseball when they're at Muni, you're missing out. And I know, again, you didn't love to drop two of those games against West Virginia. West Virginia is the only other team worth a damn in this conference when it comes to college baseball.
I mean, yeah, those are the top 2 teams in the conference.
The Sun Devils will see him again, so I'm not too worried about that. You'll see him in the postseason if they're really about that action. But again, you got to enjoy the fact that you have, I mean, just one hell of a player right now firing on all cylinders for the Sun Devils. He's on the freak list.
Yeah, he is. Yeah. Take that, Bruce.
Bruce Feldman, you need to put Landon Hairston
on your freak list.
On your Feldman freak list.
I feel like there's no better way to end the show than that.
Yeah, I mean, I got nothing.
Me either.
Yeah,
my brain's empty.
You got anything?
No.
Yeah, okay. Hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, drop a 5-star review wherever you get your podcast. That is going to do it for today's episode of the PHNX Sun Devils Show. Of course, we'll be back same time, same place on Wednesday for a little snake draft. I'm pumped. I'm juiced. I'm ready for another one. Follow the show at PHNX_Sun Devils. You can do that on Twitter, on Instagram, and on TikTok. You can follow me at Anthony_Totri. You can follow Leche Larry here at Erik Ruby. That's Erik with a K. Don't worry about following the Wooly Wilbrecht.
No,
He's
don't
already
do that.
following you. Boo. Guys, we'll see you on Wednesday. In the meantime, go Devils. Peace.
We all silly like the mayor.